Testing, testing. They was good, y'all. This the Thawahgabar for Black Authentic Truth. All right, how y'all doing? It seems like that intro seems like it was kind of like tripping a little bit. What did it look like on y'all side? Hey, where's my chapstick at? I want to be flipping my lip. Hey, what's good with y'all? Let me know if I sound good. Let me know if you can hear me. Give me a 1 if you can hear me. All right. Now I know I had, where did I put it at? All right, thank you. I see it. Good looking out, Black Rain 303. Renee Gaines, Sister brought the now always up in here all the time, always supporting. Yeah, I wanted to get some chapstick. I guess I'll be licking my lips the whole live, right? So first of all, I want to just ask, how is everybody's Sunday evening going? How is everybody's Sunday going? Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening. How is it going? Out here, man, today was actually a beautiful day. It was a beautiful day outside. I actually was going to go live from the studio of my school, but we was having some technical difficulties with the internet. So that's why I am actually going later than I said I would. I was going to go. I probably would have been live about, I say like about 2 hours ago, right? Would have been live about Black Rain, you laughing because you said I guess I'm gonna be licking my lips. Yeah, I had some chapstick. I don't know where I put it at. Might have to use some olive oil up in this thing. But yeah, man, today it's a beautiful day out here in Southern California. Uh, you know, the last few days it's been kind of chilly at night. And so today is just like a straight perfect weather day. Few clouds in the sky, blue sky, sun is out. You don't really see too many days like that in during this time of the year. So yeah, so everything is good. Black Rain 303. That's what's up, man. Renee Gaines said, just chilling, drinking on a little Jose Cuervo. Weather is cold. That's right. I ain't mad at you. I know like a little winter system or a storm system came through that Midwest area. I know that for sure. Yeah. So man, I got some things lined up. Of course, I want to tap into some of the things that were said in the last live that I had. Some of the things the questions far as the Bible, and I just really want to tap into is Black Americans, are we Israelites? Is there any proof outside of the Bible that the people that came from West Africa were actually Jews? Were they Israelites, right? That's one thing I'm gonna go into, probably the heaviest thing and the most important thing that I'm gonna talk about today. Uh, and then we got TD Jakes. TD Jakes, there's another pastor. Shout out to Renee Gaines. She sent me that story. There's another pastor that, he had an episode while he was giving a sermon. So everybody knows what happened with TD Jakes. Then we have this other pastor. His last name is, I think it's Reverend Winans, right? And then I have a few videos we're going to go into also that, we can get some commentary on. That gamer Honesty 06 said, eating some oxtails waiting for this 49er game. Man, I heard that. You can't never go wrong with some oxtails, ever, ever in life. You can't go wrong with oxtails. Black Rain said, good weather here in Phoenix too. You know what, Black Rain? I'll be out there next weekend. I'll be in Phoenix. We'll be out there doing camp for what do they call it? First Friday. So I'll be in Phoenix on First Friday out there on the mic, on the camera, rocking and rolling. So, just to let you know, I'll definitely be in Phoenix. So yeah, we're gonna get into it. Now that live, how many of y'all was here that live? What was it? When did I go live? Was that a Thursday? The last live that I did, what day was it? That was Thursday, right? Man, that was crazy. Yeah, it was Thanksgiving. I went live because of Thanksgiving, right? And I put, if you're celebrating Thanksgiving, you have a slave mentality. Oh man, that title must have did something to people, because people started coming in. At one point, it was about 400 people on the live, and we don't get that many people tapping into the lives. We had all type of people, all type of random people popping up into the live. It was crazy work. And, you had a lot of people saying this and that, and people, trying to go back and forth about the validity of the Bible, about being able, what's wrong with celebrating Thanksgiving, that what I'm saying is racist and I'm creating hate, and all type of crap was coming out in the comments, to the point where I couldn't even keep up with the comments anymore. And I was like, Jesus Christ, I need a moderator, or maybe I need to start titling stuff like that, titling things to the point where it makes a person feel a type of way, because that was crazy. But I think it wasn't just the title. It was the fact that it was actually Thanksgiving, and it was the topic of what I was talking about that really, had people come into the room. Of course, on Thanksgiving, many people wasn't going to work, so they just sitting around, and that also is the reason why I think a lot of people was in the live also. If you're in the live right now, go ahead and like the live and share the live, you know what I'm saying, just to boost that algorithm. Listen, hey, Black Rain, Thursday was so hot that I couldn't even tap in with the regular people that rock with me all the time. It was like I'm looking for comments, and the comments were just moving. And I was like, this is crazy. Like, I don't know what it is. People was full off of the turkey. They didn't have nothing to do, but they was tapping in. You know what I mean? They was up in here. So yeah. So what I want to talk about, I'm gonna probably go into, let's talk about TD Jakes. We'll talk about TD Jakes. Now everybody's seen that video of TD Jakes, having a medical emergency. Some outlet said that it was a heart attack. Some said it was a stroke. I don't know for sure. We just know that it was a medical emergency. You had some people saying they felt like it was fake and it wasn't real. That's up to people how they feel about that. But one thing I do know is that the evil of these Christian pastors and the things that they do in the dark will eventually come to the light. And some people was like, this is because he's feeling the heat. He feeling the heat that he's about to get swallowed by the FBI because all of the things that came out with Diddy. And you got to really ask yourself, like, why is a man of God even at a get together, a party of such like a P. Diddy party? Like, think about a man of God. It's almost like you think about a man of God smoking a blunt. A lot of people, they idolize Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. Imagine them, or Marcus Garvey. Imagine them smoking a blunt. Imagine them, at a Diddy party. It's hard for you to reconcile that in your brain. Like, that don't even make sense. Why would they be there? So the question is like, why would a pastor even be at a Diddy party? Why would he even be, why would he even have a sermon like the one that went viral about being swallowed? You know what I'm saying? So I made the, the little joke that like maybe he was, if it was an act, if it wasn't real, maybe it's just from being stressed out of the pressure of maybe the FBI might come busting into the doors of that mega church. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's from that pressure, like of thinking like what's going to happen, because of the things I've been doing in the dark. Who knows? We don't know. Everything is alleged right now. They say you can't really be certain until it actually comes out. The truth actually comes out in a courtroom. So you can't just say stuff like that. You can't just, be, but we still can say, why is a man of God at a P. Diddy party? How does that even add up? Why is any man of faith Any man, I don't care what religion, I don't care if you are a Buddhist monk, if you are a Muslim imam, if you are a, a shaman from some rainforest tribe, why would you, being this holy spiritual person, be at a P. Diddy party? So we know what happened. And so I'm gonna play a video from some of his accusers. Now, one of the videos is from an accuser from, a few years ago. I didn't even know about this one. I know about the more recent one that came out on the internet about a month ago. Okay, so I'm gonna play both of these, and then I'm gonna give my thoughts, and y'all can give y'all thoughts in the comments. So let me get this.
Been watching me. I've been saying that in 2024 it's going to be the year of exposure, and God is exposing certain people that normally was able to use their power, their influence, and their money to silence people. Those days are over. And before I hear people saying that, oh, this is sowing tear in the body of Christ, the Holy Spirit is a spirit of truth. So before you say, touch not my.
So before I go any further, I never heard of him, but I'm not in no Christian circle. But this is the Prophet Manasseh Jordan, former mentee of Bishop T.D. Jakes, and he's talking about grooming. Now, when we get in the next video, you'll hear that you'll understand what grooming is. But he's talking about how they all do this. This is everywhere. It's rampant in the Black Christian church. Okay, let me keep playing the video.
Do my prophets no harm. That's a nescient statement because that scripture is referring to Israel. You're taking the scripture out of context. And if the Holy Spirit is a spirit of truth, then speaking truth is not sowing tears. It's bringing reformation and healing. In my 20s, I got to be around some of the biggest men and women of God. And I got to witness things because I got to see them without their armor. One of the things that really happens and seldom talk about is that there's something called grooming. And it happens in the Pentecostal church. It happens in many churches, but I'm referring to the Black church specifically. And what that means is that there'll be a bishop, a pastor, apostle, someone who has big conferences. Everybody knows, oh my God, they're the holy man of God. And they will pick their victims and they groom them. And it first goes through stage one where they ask questions. What are you into? What do you like? You need to tell daddy everything. And so they're using verbosity and they're using this type of garrulous narrative to try to make you feel comfort, to make you build comfort with their victim. And then from there, it goes into stage two. And stage two is where it begins to become sexual. And it first starts by either making facetious jokes, making little statements, innuendos, and then it goes into the questions of what turns you on? What do you like sexually? You need to tell me this because I need to know, because I need to be able to pray for you. So it's almost like a psychological power game that they're playing with you. And in your head, if you say something wrong, they project it on you. They body shame you. Oh, you're too sexual. Oh, look at your body. Oh, you're the one that's making me do this. Oh, and so you have that in the back of your head. And then you also have in their head of their dumb, misinformed followers who are pushing this predatory narrative because they're so in awe with either trying to be like them, either worshiping them, or not worshiping God, or worshiping their denomination or where they come from. And so they're not even there seeing with the eyes of truth, but they're there seeing out of carnality. And so they're sitting up there and they're protecting them. And the leader, the bishop, the pastor, they know this. And so they know and they feel invisible. Oh, I can get away with this. I just have to make a statement to my church. I just have to tell them. And they're never going to question. Why is it so many people? Why is it always coming up. Why is everybody lying? So everybody's lying. Where there's a mouse, there's mice. And then it goes into the third stage.
Hey, my bad. I'm sorry about that. But what I was saying was, my bad, y'all. What I was saying is that the brother, he basically, well, y'all heard it, but the thing is that he brought it out that if a bishop says something, if someone says something to a bishop, right? If they make an accusation, the bishop knows in his mind, like, all he got to do is stand before the congregation and the congregation will believe him. This is what happened with Eddie Long. I don't know if y'all know the story with Eddie Long. He had like 3 different young black males that accused him of sexually, molesting him or whatever, grooming them. He came out in front of the congregation and he used a metaphor with David and Goliath to say, like, these accusations are just a storm. I'm just being attacked. And he used David and Goliath as a metaphor of him, throwing stones, and he got 1 stone left. And then he walks off, mic drops, walks off the stage as his parishioners clap and support him. They didn't care that these were young boys that were saying he groomed me. He flew me out on trips. He did these things to me. And what this brother is bringing out, that there's a lot of young black males that are in the Christian church that are looking for God. They're hoping that they can make a connection with God. And these people zero in on these type of young boys. And so this brother said he was a mentee. He was up under TD Jakes, and he came out and said these things happen. But nobody believed him. Everybody's like, whatever, because they still will stick with that pastor. They still will stand behind that pastor. You see what happened with TD Jakes when it came out about him being at those parties, being what they call a power bottom. The congregation still stuck with him. That's the point. The congregation, they will still go to that church. They will still be there for that pastor. The pastors know, the bishops know they have that power. They know that if somebody makes an accusation against them, it's their word against that person. And people idolize these pastors and these bishops and put them way up here to the point where, a person telling the truth and speaking their truth, it doesn't even matter. So let me just play some more. Oh, I'll play a little more. Let me see.
Followers who are pushing this predatory narrative because they're so in awe with either trying to be like them, either worshiping them, or not worshiping God, or worshiping their denomination or where they come from. And so they're not even there seeing with the eyes of truth, but they're there seeing out of carnality. And so they're sitting up there and they're protecting them. And the leader, the bishop, the pastor, they know this. And so they know, and they feel invisible. Oh, I can get away with this. I just have to make a statement to my church.
Black Rain. That's exactly right. This is the y'all know when it comes to the Catholic Church has thousands of cases. I think they settled and paid like millions of dollars. They have thousands of cases where these people they're adults and they're still trying to fight a case against the priest that did something to them. Like, this is like the Roman Catholic Church is where all of the sects of Christianity come out of. Like all of them sects, the Baptist and the Presbyterian and Pentecostal, all of these sects come out of the Roman Catholic Church. They are like children Christianity, especially the Christianity that black people was in. It all comes out of there. So if you are a black pastor and you go to some school, theology school, you get ordained, part of that, it's like almost part of the culture of being, ordained and being someone in that position. You get to abuse people because your example is the Catholic Church, and they never get touched. Can't nobody be brought to justice. All they do is take a person that was accused and move them to another church. No one goes to jail. No one is prosecuted. And that is the history of the Catholic Church. Sorry. I'm gonna get a little bit more, then I'm gonna get the other video. All right.
Have to tell them, and they're
Why
never
is it
going to
not? Let me
question.
see.
Why is it so many people? Why is it always coming up? Why is everybody lying? So everybody's lying. Where there's a mouse, there's mice. And then it goes into the third stage. And the third stage is where they try to become intimate with you. And if you do not allow this, they drop you. They treat you like you're nothing. And they abandon that young male or that young woman. But from my experience, I can only speak from a young male point of view. They abandon that young male and they treat them like they're nothing because they didn't acquiesce to what they wanted sexually.
So he said there's three phases. There's the first phase where they zero in on this young man or young woman that is just trying to get to know God, full of zeal, full of life, and they zero in on that person and they choose that person. The second phase is where they're, they start to, loosen up and talk to the person and throw out sexual jokes and try to have a conversation about, sexual things. The third phase is they abandon you if you're not trying to get on code. If you are rejecting them, they act as though you don't exist anymore. Now, this is what happens to young black men like him and young black women. Now, you're in that church and you want to be a part of a family. You want to be a part of that church. Then somebody come, you think they're befriending you. It's the best time of your life. You think you're about to learn about God and you really have a family. Then they come on to you inappropriately and then you reject them and then they just act like you never existed. Now you're in that church. Now the doors that were opening as far as you moving up in the church and being in departments in the church, all of those doors are closed. And you're like, you had this relationship with this bishop, this reverend, this whoever, and now it's like you don't even exist. You understand? That is so evil, y'all. But this is what happens in the Black Christian church that don't nobody want to talk about. Let me get this other video. Let me pull up with this latest brother that is talking about TD Jakes.
Jakes, after we were done taking him out to eat, that I would be the person to take him back to his sleeping place.
I'll make it bigger. Y'all let me know if y'all can still hear me. Give me a 1. Give me a 1 if you can still hear me. Before I start playing this. Thank you, young man Cav, Black Rain, and Black Dazzle, and Sister Baratanawa.
We befriended kind of close with Bishop Jakes. And we decided in one of the times he was there, it was going to be his birthday. I was able to convince my mother to let me drive her car as I didn't have a vehicle. I said, well, we're going to take him out to eat. I want to drive your car. And so we did. We took him out to eat. And it was decided after we were done taking him out to eat that I would be the person to take him back to his sleeping place, which at the time there was a lady named Sister Giles. She always wanted to house and take care of him when he came to that church. And so I came in there, drove him to eat, and then took him back to her home. Well, after taking him back to her home, he says, come on in, let's talk. You can't even imagine being 18, 19 years of age. This person is killing it. And they're saying to you, come on in, let's talk. And so I did. I went in. We sat down at a very long dining room table in a room that she had. And for 2 hours, it was unbelievable. Pouring of heart, crying, him talking about my father. We talking about these scenarios. And I inwardly just knew I had finally found someone who could get it.
Let me just pause that for a minute. Now, you see, that's what I was talking about. This brother, he just felt so good that he had someone that was actually listening to him. He said, we talked about my father. He talked about his father. I guess he knew his father. His mother's in the church, so obviously he knew his father. I don't know where his father is at in this, story at when this happens, but he was just so thrilled that it was somebody, not just somebody, but somebody that's important, a bishop that understood all of the things that he had going on at the time. Now he's talking about he was about 18, 19 years old. So he must have been a brother that, went through some things at a young age and had many questions and wondered about, his life. So like the last brother said, there's certain phases. Well, this was the first phase where he's sitting down with TD Jakes, and TD Jakes is just pouring out to him and listening to him and giving him advice on his life. And he's feeling so good about it. Right. Let me get some more.
Someone who understood.
Let me see. Let me back it up a little bit.
Good. I'm sitting at this table, and for the first time talking to any man, I got tears coming down my face because somebody gets me. Somebody understood what I was going through. Well, after sitting there and having this long discourse with him, I finally look at my watch and I'm like, oh my goodness, I got to go. I got to get this car back to my mother. She's going to kill me. So I said to Bishop, I got to get up. And I got up from the table. He got up from the table. He walked around toward the way I had to exit quicker than I got over there. And when I started to walk past him, he pulled me to himself, wrapped his arms around me, and tried to kiss me. And in that moment, I literally died.
Damn. Y'all hear that? He said, first of all, he said he cried for the first time because somebody finally understood him. Let me hold on one second, y'all. Let's see if we can change this. He said he cried for the first time because it was the first time that somebody actually understood him. So they having this great conversation where he's pouring out, his heart to TD Jakes. And then he realizes he got to get back to the house. His mom is going to want her car back. And TD Jakes gets up before him, meets him at the door, pulls him to himself and tries to kiss him. And he says, I literally died. Meaning as a black man, as a young man, you're looking for a father figure, but not just that. You're not just looking for somebody to listen to you. You're looking for a masculine presence to instruct you. The last thing you're looking for as a young black male, even though you don't know psychologically, is for some sissy to try to hug you and kiss you. The brother said, I literally died, because this is a person that is in his eyes, he's blind right now through Christianity. He sees a man of God. He sees a strong man of God is what he thinking TD Jakes was. But then that happened and it just changed everything. And in the inside, that brother was let down. He was let down. Let me rewind it. Let me go back a little bit.
Around me and tried to kiss me. And in that moment, I literally died.
He said he lit in that moment. And I'm trying to help y'all understand that in that moment, he's saying I literally died is because of the high a standard in which he looked at TD Jakes as a man of God, as a strong man, a powerful force, and then somebody that would look at him, his unimportant self, listen to him, give him feedback and counsel, sitting at a table for a few hours, and then turn around and try to hug and kiss him. That was a letdown to this brother. That was traumatizing to this brother. He said he died in the inside. You understand? Let me tell y'all something. Let me tell you the equivalent of something like to make you feel what this brother is saying. When somebody is SA'd, sexually assaulted, let's just say a woman, a man, forcibly, the great word, when he forcibly does something to a woman like that, in the inside, that person dies. You feel me? It's like you took something from me. And so that's the same thing with this brother. He's a young brother. This man is on high, on glory on high. You know, he's Christian of Christians, prosperity gospel. Everybody love him. He's magnetic, has the charisma on stage that everybody loves. These pastors have the best charisma, right? And for that to happen to him, it kills a person in the inside. You get what I'm saying? I hope I made the point. Let me get some more. Let's get some more. I'll rewind it a little bit.
Around me and tried to kiss me. And in that moment, I literally died.
That's crazy.
I could not. I tell you, to this day, I can't remember how I got out of that place. But I remember driving home with all kinds of crazy thoughts and what in the world am I going to do now?
He said, you hear that? He said even to this day, he can't remember how he got up out of there. He doesn't even remember what he said to TD Jakes. He just know, look, we don't even know if he actually kissed him or if the brother shrugged and pushed him away. We don't know what happened because he doesn't remember what happened. And as he's thinking about it today, the trauma is so deep that he don't even remember in that second, in that moment, what transpired. That's a victim, y'all.
And I finally get home, get in the house, get in the bed. I'm going to try to go to sleep. And I get to sleep and get up in the morning. And in the morning, I step into our bathroom and my home phone rings. My mother answers the phone and she says to me, Wayne, it's Elder Jakes. And I get on that phone. And when I get on that telephone, I can hear water. He is sitting in a bathtub.
That's crazy work. The brother said that his mama put TD Jakes on the phone and TD Jakes is in a bathtub. He can hear the water. That's crazy work. And his mother is so enamored by TD Jakes and so starstruck by TD Jakes that she's not even wondering what's going on with her son. Why does TD Jakes, why is he all of a sudden, he's just drawn to her son? She's not even wondering that. Her head is in the clouds because a lot of the black women that be in them Christian churches, their heads be in the clouds. They be wanting to be with the pastor. All of them be single, but all of them look at the pastor as an example of the man that they want to be with. And so the mother is not even seeing what's happening to her son. Young man Kev said, a super predator. Man, that is a super predator. Not just a predator, but in the name of God, though. Right? His mother was a church crew. That was funny, Black Dazzle. His mother was a church group. That's what it is. That's a good one. It's a lot of church groupie women in there that don't see what's happening to their sons and daughters. Okay.
And in that thing, he says to me, without any hesitation, there's 3 things I need you to do. The first one is, when I come to Pittsburgh, you're going to be the only person I sleep with. The second one is, you can't sleep with anybody else because I don't want to give my wife anything. And thirdly, I will take care of you the rest of your life.
You know what's funny about that? That's horrible. He gets on the phone and saying, you're the only one I'm about to sleep with, and you can't sleep with anyone else because I don't want to give anything to my wife. That's crazy work, y'all. Then he says that I'm going to take care of you for the rest of your life. You know what? That's what Eddie Long was doing. Eddie Long was flying boys out to like the Bahamas. He was flying them out to, exotic places. These pastors got deep pockets. And you know why they got these deep pockets? Because of all the tithes and offerings and money that Black people done put into that church. That's where your money going to. Instead of putting your money into the Christian church, you should give it to the ISUPK. You should give it to Black men that actually go out there and help Black people. I bet you if his mother fell on hard times and needed money for rent or needed money for a funeral or something like that and went to TD Jakes, I bet you they couldn't get that money. They said since the 1970s, the Black Christian church done got like $400 billion out of the Black community. But yet you go to every church in every major city and the community surrounding that church is destroyed. The community surrounding those churches is plagued with drugs and violence, meaning the men of God are not even doing their job in the communities in which those churches sit. Y'all think about that for a minute. Yeah, think about that. Now they're able to be sexual deviants and fly brothers out to, exotic places, fly women out to exotic places, do these things with people in the dark, thinking that it will never come out. Well, with Eddie Long, it came out. I think one of the brothers that accused him committed suicide because he was just so messed up. And this is supposed to be a man of God. This is supposed to be a man that the Lord ordained to raise up his people, to teach his people morals, to teach his people decency. But I don't understand how Black people are still in the church. I don't even understand. Like, I'm sure today's Sunday, many of y'all, I'm saying that Black Authentic Truth, people, y'all, I know y'all watch me, y'all know what time it is. And that's right, Black Rain, Jeremiah 23:1. Woe to those pastors. You know what I'm saying? Many of y'all went to church today. Many Black people was in church today. I don't see how Black people are still going to church. Like I said, I think I said that in that last live, I said, I'm not even mad if you don't believe what I believe, but damn, at least don't believe what they telling you in that Christian church. At least, fine. I wouldn't be mad if you went and, started following a brick wall, but you still following Christian pastors that was set up on a plantation that are teaching you prosperity gospel, that are not producing the fruits that the scriptures say they should produce. I mean, come on, man. What's wrong with you? It's 2024. 2024. You should know by now. Like, you should know by now the truth ain't in those walls. Let me keep going, y'all.
I can't to this day remember how I got off that phone, but I do know I made a decision that I wasn't going to the service that night. And eventually I told my mother, I'm not going to go to the service tonight. She says, no. We got a rule in this house. If we go, you go. I never told her what he had done. I went to church, and the most humiliating thing imaginable happened that night at church.
Well, before we get into that, you hear that, you know, it's a lot of you black people like that. Like, you going to church, black fathers, black mothers. Like, if you're in this house, I remember I had a friend. Well, I still have that friend, but his mother, may she rise again, she no longer here. You couldn't spend a night at his house unless, like, okay, so it would be a Saturday night. You couldn't spend a night unless you were going to go to church with the family on Sunday morning. So that was the only way we could spend a night at their house. The point I'm making is you have a lot of parents like that they, regardless of whatever is going on, 9 times out of 10, they don't know what's going on with their daughter. They don't know what's going on with the son, but they will force them to go sit in that church. And there's so many evil things that go on within those churches. Let me keep going.
Bishop Jakes, getting up to preach, speaks into that microphone. I'm going to ask young minister Youngblood to read for me. And after all of that drama of the last,
that's crazy work. So he's in church and TD Jakes asked him to read for him. This is the thing. Think about how he feels. It's like a victim having to do that for the person who victimized them. Imagine what you put, the situation you're putting a person in. You're putting them in a messed up situation. I have to stand next to the person who victimized me, who sexually assaulted me, who did this to me, who you murdered my family, who killed my people. I have to now stand up in solidarity with this person before everyone, and no one knows what this person did to me in secret. That is evil, man. That's cold. That's cold. Young man Kev said, you have to face your demon. You have to literally stand there with the demon and look as though you and the demon are on one accord in front of everybody.
last 24 hours, I had to read before he preached.
That's crazy. I mean, I'm laughing, y'all, but it's not funny. It's not funny. It's actually sad. It's really, it's a cold twist, though, because of what happened with TD Jakes. Now, I can't say that this is judgment from the Lord, but what you're starting to see is a lot of weird things happen within these Christian churches where pastors are having issues. Let me pull this video up. All right, let me see if I can get this. That's crazy. He had to stand up and read for him.
What God has said and believe
Let me rewind that again. Let me see if I'll just make it bigger for y'all. Play it.
if we trust what God has said and believe
Yeah, man. Y'all see, he just fell straight out. I don't know what happened, but this is the shame. Like, this is what you're going to start to see more, is the shame, that skirt being pulled up for the Black Christian church. And people starting to realize that, you know, these things that are happening, These are not the blessings of God. These are the curses of the Most High. These ain't things that's happening because the Most High is with these pastors. It's happening because these are some dirty, rotten, scoundrel, pimp, slick talking men that claim to be men of God and doing mischievous deeds behind the cameras and behind the scenes. Like, it's not new. We know this has been going on for forever. And we know that if these people gave us Christianity, that's what I'm going to talk about next. If they gave us the Christianity that we practice in these churches, I mean, it's only natural that eventually these men that are leaders, pastors, reverends, deacons, bishops, that they would start to do the things that they see, white pastors and bishops and deacons do. And like I said earlier, when I first started, this comes from the Catholic Church, right? And let me just speak briefly, because a lot of people was, the other day, there was a brother that came into the live, right? We got about 15 people in here. Y'all know what I'm gonna have to do the next live. I'm gonna have to come with something fire, because at this point in time, we probably had about 100 people. We got about 15 people in here. Make sure you like the video and then share the video. If you're getting something out of what I'm saying, if you appreciate the content that I am dropping, make sure you like and you share the video. All right. Appreciate y'all. Right. Now, when it comes to Christianity, there was a brother that spoke about Christianity. I said, you had a slave mentality in that title. You have a slave mentality if you're celebrating Thanksgiving. He said, well, you have a slave mentality if you believe a book that the white man gave you. And y'all remember I put in there, show me the source where the white man wrote the Bible, or the white man, many people, many people was going back and forth over that point in the comments. And he basically said, he clarified and said, well, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that I'm not saying about what's in the Bible, that he wrote what's in the Bible. I'm saying that the Bible, black people were introduced to the Bible by the white man, right? Because I went into the history. I think he said that because after he said what he said, I went into the history that shows that the Bible never enslaved black people, that Africans sold Israelites. They made deals with the Europeans. They negotiated. Then the Europeans traded the Africans for different goods and services, guns, spices, rum, wine. And that is what got black Americans onto cargo slave ships, not the Bible. Once they got here in America is where black people were indoctrinated on the plantation with the religion of Christianity. And I just want to clarify, because a lot of people, when you say you believe in the Bible, or, we're Israelites, we're God's chosen people, they look at it like, why is it that you're going back to a white man's religion, or there is no truth in the Bible, right? So I'm going to go into some books in a minute to just prove a point about, a lot of times we are filled with feeling about how we feel about a thing without actually reading or researching. And a lot of the sources, all the sources I'm bringing out, will not even be in the Bible to prove that Israelites were in West Africa. Okay, so, but the Christianity thing, right, Black Rain, our people wrote the Bible. Black people wrote the Bible. It's just a shame that when black people think about the Bible, they think about white Jesus, and they think about, other nations and Caucasian people being the people of the Bible, when all the people in the Bible were dark skinned. And so when it comes to Christianity, real quick, Christianity comes out of the Roman Empire. It comes out of the Roman Catholic Church. It comes out of the Byzantine Empire. Christianity is that belief of the Trinity. It's the belief of white Jesus. It's the belief of John 3:16 means everybody on the planet Earth. That's Christianity. God loves everyone. God, it doesn't matter who you are, what color you are. That's Christianity. Christianity is you must forgive. You know what a good example of Christianity is in the Black community? Christianity in the Black community, a good example is Dylan Roof. Y'all remember in South Carolina? Dylan Roof went into that church. And he was in that church while they were praying and doing all of these things. And then he pulled out an assault rifle and he unalived everybody in that church while they're begging for their lives. Now, part of that story is that the relatives of some of those people were forgiving Dylan Roof the same day, like before their loved ones' bodies were cold, they were forgiving Dylan Roof for what he had done. That's Christianity. That's not the Bible. But Christianity is you got to forgive somebody, hit you upside your head. You got to turn around and say, "Oh, I'm sorry. I forgive you. Don't worry about it." While you got a lump the size of a tennis ball on your head. That's Christianity. You're supposed to let bygones be bygones and let things go and just move on and be the bigger person. Or you're supposed to love everybody. And there is no hatred. There is no correction. There is no sternness in that thought process. That Christianity is a religion that is made from men. Christianity is separate. It's a religion made from men. I'm going to say that again. It's separate from what's actually in the Bible. So you'll be confused if you really start asking questions and reading the Bible compared to what you learn in a Christian church and what they say. And so I think a lot of people, just that little bit of information, a lot of people can't separate the Christian religion from what's inside the Bible. It's very hard for them to, separate the two. It's always they're looking at it as one thing when it is not. And now I agree that what Black people follow in the Christian church is way off. I agree with that. But I don't agree with a person saying we shouldn't believe the Bible. We should throw the Bible away. It's a book full of myths and fairy tales. It doesn't go with history. It's not a history book. I can't believe that because the proof is right there if you just search for it. So a lot of times we're filled with feeling how we feel about a thing without actually going and doing our due diligence and doing the research. I'm the type of person where you can't come to me and parrot things, meaning a parrot hears shit that it hears from people talking, and then it goes and tells someone else. You can't come to me like that. You're going to have to show me a source. You're going to have to prove your stance. You know what I'm saying? Because I come up under great men, honorable men, that have showed me in all the questions I ever had have showed it by proving it that way, not just saying it, not just saying because it sounds good to say, the Bible is a book full of myths. It sounds good to say, oh, the white man gave us that book. I've been hearing that my whole life. You know what I'm saying? But when I started to actually learn and apply myself, I realized Christianity is a doctrine. It's a theology. It's a religion that our ancestors were indoctrinated with on the plantation. That you can't even get around that. So I don't understand why Christians, Black Christians, why they don't even see that. You say, man, y'all, this was given to us on a plantation. They used to have white people sit inside of the congregation of Black people and make sure the Black pastor only taught a certain kind of doctrine. Couldn't really go into it. So if you're going to say the Bible ain't real, right? This is another thing that's going to hurt a lot of you blackity black Egyptian Pan-African people. Every major revolution of Black people to fight for freedom was inspired by the Bible. I'll give you one, Nat Turner, inspired by the Bible. Wasn't inspired by the Book of the Dead. What's some other stuff they talk about? Wasn't inspired by, what is on the hieroglyphs of ancient Egypt. It wasn't inspired by no other philosophy, religion, or anything like that. So many people will say Nat Turner was a revolutionary because of what he did. And I agree. He's a pioneer in his beliefs and what he did. And it has never been done again or attempted again. But in order to even have a revolution, in order to even have that type of fight against your oppressor, you have to have something that gives you that type of energy, where you could muster that type of energy. And that came from the Bible. Show me some revolution where they used a philosophy that just came from them, Black people, where they used a philosophy that came from some, you know, some walls in West Africa, or some you know, some holy book from some place. You can't. You understand? You can't show me that. You can't show me that. All of these belief systems that Black people are in, they don't have the propensity to muster that type of courage and bravery. They just don't. They don't have it. So there is a difference between Christianity, a man-made religion, and what's in the Bible, which is the records, the history, the prophecies of one group of people. They were called the Hebrew Israelites, okay? It's not a book that is for everybody, but everybody has hijacked the book and used it for their gain. Now, I say this, I tell people this also. The Bible has never lied. It just was put into the hands of a people who are liars. Remember that quote. The Bible has never lied. It was just put into the hands of a people who were liars, who used it for their selfish reasons and selfish gain. Okay. Now, let me get this video. Let me get this video, because then I'm gonna end with what I'm just talking about. I should have probably saved that for later, but I'm going to end with that. So let's get, okay, I got this video, 1, 2, 3. Okay, we'll get that one. I remove this. You remove this. And we are going to get, all right. Hey, shout out to y'all for rocking with me. You know what I'm saying? I know you can be doing something else, chilling, kick back, lay back. But you know, this is, we gotta get to it. We gotta get to this Black Authentic Truth. Okay. Let's present this video. This is something. This is some of y'all probably seen this video. Some of y'all probably seen this video. This is out there. This is out there in Palestine. And you have a boy that's looking up at the sky, and he's just paying attention to the sky while everybody else is just walking around, you know, doing their thing. And he yells out, I guess he yells out, there's an incoming, like a missile is coming. You know what? I might be able to make it a little bigger. Let me see. Let's see. Let's make it. Let's go to this one. Where we at? We'll switch it up. Is this the one? Let's see. No, that's not it. It's right here. That's not it either. Guess it's gone. Yeah, this is crazy work. Let me play it one more time. Now, you imagine living in a place like that, in a world like that, where you have to pay attention. A child is paying attention to the sky, not because they're looking at birds, not because they're looking at, airplanes fly by. They are looking for a incoming missile that is going to kill their whole family. That's crazy work, y'all. That is, it's unimaginable because of the life we live here in America. It's unimaginable because we are in a bubble and we feel as though, life is life. Tomorrow will be the same old thing. Well, Black people, you should think about the possibilities of something like this happening. Like, it's not out of the, scope of reality that this could actually be your reality in a little bit of time, where you're looking up in the sky and you're wondering, any sound you hear, you're wondering, is it a bomb about to drop on your head? And I was just thinking, like, when I was young, I was into airplanes, and I would look at the sky and I would be able to tell you, oh, that's a F-16, that's a C-130, that's a C-5 Galaxy, that's a C-141 Starlifter. Because I wanted to be a pilot. I was, just, fascinated by airplanes and military airplanes, commercial airplanes, whatever. But I could never imagine I could imagine staring at the sky, but I could never imagine looking up at the sky and hoping that a bomb doesn't hit my house. A bomb doesn't hit, my neighborhood. And that's the reality for many people on the other side of the world. And so things are so fragile, especially with this World War III thing popping off in all of these nations that are, rearing up and, pointing missiles at one another and making threats and, all of these things that you as a Black and brown person should be thinking about these things. You should be wondering, what is going on right now in the relationship between Russia and America, the relationship between Iran and America, Iran and, Israel, because overnight, this can become the reality of Black and brown people in America. So this is something that you should think about, because listen, when war cracks off, it's a whole nother animal. It's totally different. In the security that we have here, that security is so fragile that we don't even understand. And I understand you don't care, but you should care about, what could happen, because tomorrow it could be World War III, and you will be looking up at the sky and wondering, is a missile about to hit your town or hit your street corner? You understand? So that's a video I wanted to bring out, because this is something that escapes us. We're caught up in social media and, the new dance and the new celebrity news, but not what is going on in the world abroad. We don't think about it. We don't look at it. We don't consider it. Man, war is another animal, I'm trying to tell y'all. And so this is something that you should consider. You should think about. You should wonder. You should do your due diligence and do some research and, just keep up on what's going on in the world, right? Shout out to Black Rain. You said, Khan, I was in Ukraine and a few missiles hit close to where I live in 2022 at the start of the Russian invasion. You see? It is really not no joke, but until you experience it, and hell, this video should be enough for you to understand the life that other people got to live, man. The life that other people got to live in these other countries, man, it is rough. Like, you talk about, coming from the hood, coming from the ghetto, living in a rough, tough spot. I understand that. Trust me, I understand. But you don't have to wake up hearing shells blowing up. You don't have to come outside and see, a building that was perfectly fine yesterday. Now it's totally destroyed and collapsed on itself. You don't have to live in that. You don't live in that world. that world could come to America real quick in the blink of an eye. The relationships between these countries could go from 0 to 100 real quick. And so you just never know. You never know what's going to happen, but it would be wise for people it'd be wise for us to keep up on what's going on. All right. So that's why I wanted to bring that out, because the security that you think you got is very fragile. The world is not on TikTok. The world is not on, we on YouTube. The world is not on your phone. The world is in 3D and in real life. And you get a little image right here of what's really going on in the world. All right. I'm gonna drop that one and let me get to the next story. This one is cool. This one is light. The next one is I got two more, and then we're going to get into that topic. This one is light. Okay, the next one is a little hard to swallow. Shout out to everybody.
Person that you
quick. Shout out to everybody that's rocking with me right now. Make sure you like the video. You getting something out of what I'm saying. You appreciate the content that I drop. Make sure you go ahead and like the video. Even share it if you please. I appreciate you. All right, let's get into it.
Every single Black person that you see is a walking miracle. You're looking at a miracle right now, and so am I. Because for each generation of people that had to survive, all the things that they had to survive that made it possible for us to even be born, we are a miraculous people, each and every one of us.
What she's saying is the truth. Like, we are walking miracles. A lot of people talk about, okay, what is a miracle? Can you do a miracle? You believe in Christ. You believe in the Bible. What is a miracle? Black people are a miracle. Literally, you're a miracle. Literally, you are a miracle as a Black man or woman. The fact that you are even here is a miracle. The fact that you were born and you were able to make it to 3 years old is a miracle. 5 years old, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. You make it at 80 years old, it's a miracle. It's a blessing. And you make it to 100, oh man, you beyond a miracle. Okay, but the point is that you look at all of the things that we have to go through as Black and brown people. We are a walking damn miracle. Literally. You looking at people, you look at them, and you don't know how, as Black people, we don't realize how precious and royal we are as a people, how resilient and strong we are as a people, man. Like, the studies came out that showed that Black women are like 4 more times likely to die on the table having a baby during pregnancy than other women. You look at the history of, medical apartheid against Black people, the experimentation against Black people, the lack of care when we go to the hospital versus how they look at other people. It's almost like when Black women go to the hospital for some pain, it's like, it's not really pain. The pain ain't as serious as another person. You go to the hospital and you feel like a number. I know it because I go to the hospital and I ask about this, I ask about that, and I feel like a number sometimes. But the point I'm saying is that the things we have to go through, the racism, the Jim Crow, putting drugs in our community, giving us less opportunities, redlining, like the lack of, care when it comes to what are our hopes and dreams? What do we need in our community as far as being in America? Listen, man, we are walking miracles. Yeah, we have a lot of stuff that we got to work on. We have a lot of you know, parts of our people who are destroyed, dysfunctional, and all of that. But in the big picture of the thing, man, you have to understand that we are God's chosen people. You have to understand if it wasn't for the Most High, we wouldn't be here. Who could go through what we go through anyway and still be here? It ain't nobody that could go through what we went through and still be standing, still be able to be, you know, honorable, courteous, righteous, have a bright outlook on life. Many people did things that happen to them that are very small, that happen to them as a people compared to us. They're still angry. They still want revenge. But you know what I see with Black people? We are very forgiving. What people do you know that are spiritual like us, that are very forgiving to the people who did them wrong, didn't even receive a sorry or apology, didn't even receive, like, you know, reparations or get land or anything, but we're still able to be human, to be people who treat other people, regardless of what they look like, how we want to treat how we would want to be treated. Man, we are walking down miracle, man. Straight up and down. We're walking down miracle, and don't let nobody tell you different. We are them. You can't find a people that walk around like us and just do our thing and shine. And you still have people that hate on us. You still have people that want to be us, want to be cool like us, want to tap into that thing that we got, that light that we got, but they try to imitate, but they can never duplicate. You know what I'm saying? They can never really be us. They can never really, you know, have that same energy unless they're close to us. They got to be close to us. They got to grow up right next to us, and they got to be in our neighborhoods to get that same thing. You know what I'm saying? But that's who we are, man. We are a wonderful, righteous people, man. Don't let nobody tell you that we, you know, we natural born criminals, and, you know, we're video vixens, and we're useless, and we're worthless. Listen, we are the children of God. We are the people that one day will regain our power and rule the whole planet Earth. You better believe that one. You better believe that. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to you, Black people. Shout out to you, brown people, because you are a walking miracle. Okay. Nubian King says the color black stands for royalty, loyalty, wisdom, beauty, supreme love, honor, praise, and beauty. Black is beautiful, and it's beautiful to be Black. We are the darkness of the world. Shout out to you. Black Rain 303 said they rapping in Pakistan now. Man, that's crazy. Hey, you know what? That's true. I think I seen a video where they was rapping. That's crazy, man. And you can't understand what they're saying, but it actually sounds kind of catchy a little bit, even though I can't. But it's in the cadence that a Black man would rap. It's in that cadence. Okay. Nora Wilson said, spirit of men of God, king, lions, roared spirit. That's right. Sister Baratha now said, make sure to hit the like. Yeah, make sure to hit the like button, please. Thank you. Please and thank you. All right. So let me get to this next video. This video is not inspirational, but it will be a teaching moment. Okay.
Don't mom me. No. You had your warning. You had your chance. I told you to listen. I told you stop disobeying my rules. I told you being cute ain't shit if you have no education. I told you stop disobeying me. I told you to listen and do as you're supposed to. I told you to do good and...
Now, before you, let me go. I'm going to rewind it, but this mother is cutting her daughter's braids off. Okay. And the reason is because you hear what the mother is saying.
No physical discipline. Mom. Don't mom me. No. You had your warning, you had your chance. I told you to listen. I told you stop disobeying my rules. I told you being cute ain't shit. If you have no education, I told you stop disobeying me. I told you to listen and do as you're supposed to. I told you to do good in school. I told you to do your daily routine, and you yet to even do any of it. And you thought you were disobeying me today and I was not coming to cut this hair off. You're sadly mistaken because you thought being pretty was so much better than being educated or listening to your mom, right? Yes, this is what happens when you don't listen to your mom. Do you feel like I abused you? No. Do you feel like this form of discipline was a lot better than any other form of discipline, like physical abuse that I could have used? Yes. You know I love you, right? Yes. You know I got your back, right? Yes. You know what I'm doing right now is to make you a better person, right? Yes. How many times have I spoken to you about this? A lot of times. How many times have your teachers called me? Multiple times. How many times have you not handed in homework? A few times. It's just so funny that you guys all took it upon yourself, over thousands of people, to pick up the phone and call the police on me. And they didn't come because they know about my kid. And just because you won't do what you have to make sure that your kid is saved and protected, doesn't mean that I won't.
Yeah, what y'all think about that? I'm gonna tell you what I think about it. Young man Kev said, "No father around." I agree with that. It's sad to watch. I'll play it again, but it's sad to watch as you looking at it. The daughter looks like she's just in shock that her mother is cutting her hair off. It looks like she is just numb. And then even when she's questioning her, she looks like she's not in her body anymore after her hair just got cut off. And I just don't agree with that type of discipline. I agree with disciplining your children. I agree that children need consequences. I also agree that a father needs to be in the home. But I don't agree with traumatizing a child like that on social media, which is crazy work. Why would you? Let me see. Renee Gaines said, what was the point of posting it? Is my exactly. That's what I just said, Renee. Why would you do it on social media? It doesn't go anywhere. The video will be there until the internet burns away. Black Rain 303 said, we're the man, and what happened to family business and not telling the world? Right, Black Rain. It's like, you remember like a few years ago, what used to happen is you would see a lot of people whooping their children online. It was like a trend where Black people feel like they have to discipline, whip their children online and then humiliate them and embarrass them, right? That gamer honestly 06 said, but why humiliate her on social media? Exactly. Why do that to her on social media like that? You just really crushed her. Black Dazzle says the method was extreme. That's extreme. And y'all help me out because my rib does do hair, but I do not know. The way she was cutting that girl hair, was she cutting some of her hair too? Because I know a braid goes into the synthetic hair, but was she cutting off her hair too? Nora Wilson said, yes, get off of that foolishness with that child. That's right. They not like us. Said mama probably jealous because daughter got more hair than her. Listen, I was going to go into that. They not like us. I was going to say about the hair, but just in general, you have that happen a lot of times where the mother actually feels some type of way when the daughter gets of age, and now she's starting to look like a young woman, and it's like a weird type of jealousy, or I'm gonna put you in your place type of deal. You know what I mean? I can't get specific with why, maybe more beautiful, longer hair, but I do know that happens in homes where there's just a mother and a daughter. It starts becoming like a competition. Renee says, looks like it. Like she cut some of her hair. Sister Barata and I said, don't agree that it was too extreme for that young sister. The sister looks like she's obviously still in school. So she looks like she's about 14, 15, maybe 15. What y'all think? Yeah, like that's horrible. And then she came back with You know I love you, right? You know I got your back, right? Like, the damage is done. Now I want y'all to pay attention to the tone of this little girl's face, the tone of her voice, and look at her face. She looks like she's just totally out of it after this just happened. I'm gonna play the video again.
No physical discipline. Mom, don't mom me. No. You had your warning. You had your chance. I told you to listen. I told you stop disobeying my rules. I told you being cute ain't shit. If you have no education, I told you stop disobeying me. I told you to listen and do as you're supposed to. I told you to do good in school. I told you to do your daily routine, and you yet to even do any of it. And you thought you were disobeying me today and I was not coming to cut this hair off. You're sadly mistaken, because you thought being pretty was so much better than being educated or listening to your mom, right? Yes, this is what happens when you don't listen to your mom. Do you feel like I abused you? No. Do you feel like this form of discipline was a lot better than any other form of discipline, like physical abuse, that I could have used? Yes. You know I love you, right? Yes. You know I got your back, right? Yes. You know what I'm doing right now is to make you a better person, right? Yes. How many times have I spoken to you about this? A lot of times. How many times have your teachers called me? Multiple times. How many times have you not handed in homework? A few times. It's just so funny that you guys all took it upon yourself, over thousands of people, to pick up the phone and call the police on me. And they didn't come because they know about my kid. And just because you won't do what you have to make sure that your kid is saved and protected, doesn't mean that I won't.
Yeah, I heard what she said, that, you know, the teacher's calling home, her not doing her assignments. That would never warrant that, to do that to your girl, to, you know. And obviously it's her and her daughter, and I feel like this puts a void between her and her daughter. And I'm pretty sure that as soon as the daughter gets the ability to, she will be out of that house. She will try to get away from that mother, because it was so cruel to me. And we can be so cruel sometimes to our children, you know, as Black people. You don't have to be that cruel. You don't have to be that overbearing and, you know, overpowering, that you do something like this, put it online and just totally destroy that girl. And now she's online and she has to go back to school. Oh man. You know how it was in school. Like, it's like a fashion show in school. Like, growing up in school, it's like, you know, it's a popularity contest in school. And then, like, we didn't grow up with the internet. But just imagine, okay, so if something happened to a person by their parent, you would hear about it. It wouldn't be posted on a billboard for everybody to see. That's basically what the internet is. It wouldn't be posted on the billboard for everyone to see for the rest of their life. You know, you probably would hear about it, like, oh man, when we got home from school, JoJo dad came out, man, he started whooping on board, man. You would hear about it. You wouldn't say, like, damn, she cut your hair off and you got to come to school and people are looking at you. That's messed up, y'all. That's some psychological damage. That's trauma. That's trauma. It's bad enough that a lot of Black people and brown people, you go to school, they don't want you to have your natural hair. They make a big deal about you having ethnic hair, or having your hair in braids, or having your hair however you want to have it. That's a natural look. They make it a big deal. So it's bad. That's bad enough. But to have your parent, your mother, do you like this? She did her wrong, y'all. She did her wrong. And that's trauma in my book. That's trauma in my book. Sister Barathana said she is still beautiful. You damn right. Black Rain said, this is like praying in front of men for men's praises and not the Most High. She has her reward, right? Exactly. Tobias Judah said, there is still a better way. It's a better way. They not like us. Projection. The parent may project their own fears, desires, and insecurities onto her. You know, Kev had said that she kept saying, you think you pretty. Right. The daughter's competition. She kept, you notice she kept saying, you think it's all about being beautiful. Right. And it to like, just to crush her like that, like, yeah, my daughter, she's beautiful. Yeah, you're beautiful, daughter, but you finna do this homework. If you do not do this homework, I'm taking away your phone. You're not watching no TV. Oh yeah, when we go here, you're not going. Like there's other things you could have done to her, not humiliate her on social media. Some of y'all go to social media like it is your own damn therapy session. Are you trying to prove a point? And you should just stay off of social media. I would probably think that I bet you there's some problems that the mother has. Okay. Some problems. The mother needs some therapy. She got some things going on with her. Maybe she has something going on, something against her daughter, maybe the father. I don't know. But she kept saying, like, you think it's all about being beautiful. The little girl is beautiful, but to do her like that is just like, that's how a enemy would do a person. That's how that's how, you know, somebody in the streets would do a person. You don't even see people in the streets do that. Like, you know, you see a girl get in a fight with a girl, beat her up, and she's pretty, and then she gets scissors and cuts her hair off. You don't, even with all of that rage and anger. Now, she did it as though, oh, I'm teaching her a lesson. Oh, the police didn't come. So y'all thought that the police were going to take me to jail. She feel vindicated in doing her daughter like that. But I promise you, her daughter, she ain't going to let that go. Like, and I'm not saying like she wants revenge on her mom. It's just that she looks at her mom totally different from that. Sister, the relationship has been ruined. No, you good. Sorry for you. You're good. There have numerous adult parents and are deleting their own children for real. Going to school was like a fashion show for some of her sisters, right? So she just implemented her own crown act, right? Nora Wilson, teach in public school, they used to common core. There's nothing common and core about it. That child probably doing whatever the others are doing, being public, learning social foolishness on TikTok. Yeah. Bad parenting is sometimes the causes of teen acting out. That's true too. They not like, okay, you just bigging him up. Regardless of the circumstances, she did not have to cut her daughter's hair. A woman and girl hair are their crowns. This weave wearing female is just jealous of her younger daughter. I would agree with that. A woman's hair is her crown, right? You don't want to, you know. Now think about how her daughter has to go. I don't know. When I was coming up to schools I went to, you couldn't wear a hat, you couldn't wear a beanie. I know now, I think the kids in school can wear hats and beanies, but what could you do with your hair being cut like that, uneven and very short? What could she do? You know, she had to pick up the pieces. Like she was trying to take away her daughter's self-esteem. Yeah. Evil stepmother vibe, for real. That was a good one. Like she was trying to, you know, kill her spirit. You think you're beautiful? You think you pretty? Okay, we'll see. You're not doing, I'm getting these calls from the teacher. You're not turning in assignments. I would never think of nothing like that. How could you think of, that's how you get your children back from not turning in assignments? From not, you know, from getting a call from the teacher, oh, she's not listening. She's not paying attention in class. That's how you get her back. That's how you discipline her. You could just decide, I'm gonna cut this itch down. Like she probably look at her daughter like, this little B, I'm gonna cut. Watch when she get home. I'm gonna do it. I'm not only gonna cut it, I'm gonna do it on live. I'm gonna do it live. They not like us. Pixie cut and she'll be straight. Her head shape will suit that do well. Yeah, like, but that's just sad, y'all. That's sad. That's messed up. That's messed up, man. That you know, a mother would do her daughter like that. And just to see her face, she, you see her face, she was like in shock as her mother was cutting it. She was standing there. The fact that she was standing there, not fighting back, and just looked like she was in shock, lets you know that girl ain't no bad kid. She not no bad kid like that. A bad kid would have been like, oh, B, no, you not. She would have probably started punching her mother, or at least try to get her up off of her. That girl stood there and just in shock that was really happening to her. And then when she's asking her a question, it was almost like it was rehearsed, because she didn't have no more spirit in her. That little girl was just like, no, yes, no, that, like, just like, I'm numb right now. I can't believe what just happened to me. Stuff like that should happen to you outside in the world. It shouldn't happen to you in your household from your parents. That shouldn't happen to you. You know what I mean? It's just a sad thing, y'all. I'm gonna drop it. Let me get some more of y'all stuff before I drop it. Nora, she's still okay. I got that one. She still will not do her homework, right? Young man Kev, she's hoping that all the young men won't like her anymore. Now she can get a Halle Berry cut, right? She is not a bad child. She was hurt by her mom. Exactly. I said if she was a bad child, she wouldn't have let her mother go around her head cutting off braids. She would have bucked up. She would have fought back. She would have did something like to show you, oh, she's out of hand. She sat there and let it happen and just was in shock that her mom was doing this to her. Crazy work, right? So I'm gonna drop that. And so what I was going into earlier was I was talking about the Bible and everything. And let me get this book right here. So we was talking about, I had brought up the fact that how people look at it, like, they don't believe the Bible. They don't believe that Black people could be the Jews of the Bible, the Israelites. What I didn't say is that, this whole idea of Black people even being Israelites, it comes from slaves. It's because the slaves remembered who they were. You have a lot of documentation now with people who have said it. Different officials have pointed that out, that Black people are the wandering Jews. I think it was Harry Kissinger. He was I can't remember what was his job in, I believe it might have been Jimmy Carter or Ronald Reagan's administration. Harry Kissinger. He was a so-called Jew, right? So you had a lot of people that would say things like Black people are those people. Black people in America, Black people that came through the transatlantic slave trade, whether they went to the West Indies or whether they came to North America. Okay, so I'm gonna bring out a couple of books just to show and prove, what people seen, the history, some records. And so the first book I'll be going into, this book is called Creole to New Orleans, okay? Creole to New Orleans, and I'll get a little more into it. Race and Americanization. It's by Arnold R. Hertz and Joseph Logsdon, right? This is the book. Let's see, just to focus up. Creole, New Orleans, Race and Americanization. So what I'm going to do, oh yeah, Tobias, definitely. Tobias Judah said, Russia just showed pictures of the Bible being black. Yeah, Vladimir Putin opened up a very old box where it had an icon in it with Christ, and Christ was black. It's on video, okay? Showed it to the world that the people of the Bible were black. So in this book, I'm going to read a little bit. I'm going to read a little bit of page 68 and mostly on page 69, okay? Just bear with me, all right? It says 2/3 of the slaves brought to Louisiana under French rule came from Senegambia, and they included a strong and influential contingent of Bambara. The Bambara were mostly the people that came in the transatlantic slave trade during this time. Now, they were named Bambara because of the land they were found on. So today there are Bambara, but I wouldn't say that the Bambara are there today are the same people that were coming in the transatlantic slave trade. We're talking about the 1700s, okay? And so the Bambara these were the people that 2/3 of them mostly came, and in this group, they went to Louisiana. Let me go ahead. It says that the French slave trade to Louisiana focused on Senegambia and specifically Bambara because in 1720, the Company of the Indies was given administrative control and a trade monopoly in both Louisiana and Senegambia. Now, I'm going to go to page 69. It says the French had little hope of trading in Angola, except with great difficulty. Although the Company of the Indies had a trading post at Judah, that's the Gulf of Benin, there it competed with all the nations of Europe. So there was a strong competition between the French, the Portuguese, and I believe the Dutch to set up a shop to get slaves. They had basically companies, okay? Let me keep reading. It says, the Portuguese were taking the upper hand at Judah. The kings of Ardez were hostile to the Europeans and interrupting trade. The slave trade at Judah was becoming uncertain and unprofitable. Now, when it comes to Judah, you know, you look on a map, an old map of West Africa, you had an area called Judah, and it was within the area called Negro land. Okay, so they made a distinction between Negroes and Native Africans during the slave trade. I'm gonna skip down a little bit. It says the most important kingdoms of Senegambia maintained a tight control over which peoples could be enslaved and sold to the Europeans. So people wasn't just selling their people. Don't believe what American textbooks say or what, you know, people just feel happen. The history says that the people that were selling people, meaning the Africans that were selling people to the Europeans, they kept a tight control over who could be sold and who could not be sold. People wasn't selling their own people, y'all. Africans wasn't selling their own people. That's the point. Also, the Bambara, and I'll go into the Bambara at another time, the Bambara have been found to have Hebrew in their language. Okay, there's a Jewish man that wrote a whole book about the Bambara. When you look at pictures of the Bambara, they wore fringes, okay, in West Africa, Senegambia, okay? There's a book where he goes into the language. He studied the language, was learning the language, and realized that it had Hebrew words in the language, okay? That's the Bambara. Not only, what did we just learn from this? We learned about the Bambara being mostly the people coming to Louisiana. We also learned that the Africans kept a tight control over who could be sold and who could not be sold to the Europeans, meaning there was a distinction of the people. They were all black, but it was some people that can be sold and some who couldn't. What I also added into that with the Bambara is that they had Hebrew in their language. Not only that, they were a pastoral people. That's how they live, like agriculture, like the people in the Bible. Okay, so that's that. Okay, now when we get to this book, this is the interesting narrative of the life of Alada Iqueno or Gustavus Vasa, the African. Aladu or Alada Iqueno. Okay, he was a brother, an African that was kidnapped along with his sister and sold into slavery. He went to the West Indies first. He did not believe he ended up in Virginia, and then he was sold to a British ship captain, and there he worked on a British ship. He became educated in English, and he wrote his life story. Okay, his life story has survived till today. Now, let me just read some of it. It's some good stuff in here where he tells you what happened. He says, so this is after his sister. First of all, in this book, he says that how he remembers his people is that they had the customs similar to the Israelites of Abraham's time, meaning they had laws of purifications, they had sacrifices, and they had offerings. The woman, when they were on their flower, that means when they were on their menstrual cycle, they would be separated. All of the things of how he grew up and what he remembered was exactly like the people in the Bible. He was considered an African from West Africa. He lived in the interior. He and his sister was kidnapped while the adults of his town were out working in the fields. Okay. This is a part of what he said. He said, as they got walked out. So he got kidnapped, him and his sister, and he remembered being taken to the shore. He was walked through the interior all the way to the shore. Once he got around and he was able to see the different Africans and the people, this is what he said. All the nations and people I had hereto passed through resembled our own in their manners, language, and customs and language. But I came at length to a country, the inhabitants of which differed from us in all those particulars. I was very much struck with this difference, especially when I came among a people who did not circumcise and ate without washing their hands. They cooked also in iron pots and had European cutlasses and crossbows, which were unknown to us, and fought with their fists amongst themselves. Their women were not so modest as ours, for they ate and drank and slept with their men. But above all, I was amazed to see no sacrifices or offerings among them. In some of those places, the people ornamented themselves with scars and likewise filed their teeth very sharp. They wanted sometimes to ornament me in the same manner, but I would not suffer them, hoping that I might sometime be among a people who did not thus disfigure themselves. You see right here that he was amazed that these people were like heathens and savages. They were black Africans, but he seen that they were totally different, behaved totally different, had different customs and culture than his people. He says, let me get a little more. He says, till at the end of 6 or 7 months after I had been kidnapped, I arrived at the sea coast. So it took about 6 or 7 months for the people that took him to get him to the coast. The Ivory Coast is what he's talking about. It would be tedious and uninteresting to relate all of the incidents which befell me during this journey, and which I have not yet forgotten, of the various hands I passed through, and the manners and customs of all the different people among whom I lived. These people were different than him. It's a sickness in the education system when it comes to black people being African, or just us all being the same. There is no question at all that we came from Africa, the continent, right? The question is, who are we? What is our identity? That is the question. And so you can't get that question by assuming, oh, we're African. We're all brothers because we come from the motherland. That is not it. If you was all brothers, you wouldn't have been, your ancestors wouldn't have been put on cargo slave ships. When the Europeans came, your ancestors would not have been sold if you was all brothers and all the same. It wouldn't have never happened. But the fact that we were the same, that's why it happened. Okay. That goes into the ignorance that I believe that permeates when it comes to black consciousness. People get mad at us as black people that say that we're God's chosen people. We are the real biblical ethnic Jews of the Bible that had lost their identity in West Africa. And there's so much proof to show that. Now I'm finna go into this book, and I want to show y'all something you won't believe, because I haven't even picked up this book in forever. This book is called The Lost Tribes, A Myth. It's written by Alan Godbey of Duke University in the 1930s. That's how old this book is. So I won't open it because the binding is start to fall apart because it's that old. But if you look, you can see the page. Let me see. Can we get it to focus? I can't get it to focus that way. Let me see. Focus. It's too small to focus that way, but if I turn it this way to focus, right? Oh, there we go. The Lost Tribes a myth. Why is the Lost Tribes a myth? Because they said that it's a myth that the tribes are lost. They have been found, and they could not possibly be in Africa. Okay, so in this book, you have a history. This is where you get the history that in 70 AD, Vespasian and Titus of the Roman Empire military came with the siege against Jerusalem, and many Jews fled into the interiors of Africa. And that history is also in the book called From Babylon to Timbuktu, which is written by Rudolph A. Windsor, where he studied this book to get that actual history, right? So let me just show you about this book real quick because I had looked it up. Now, I did a video about over a year ago about this book. It was $14,000. Now we're going to do, I'm a screen share and I'm going to show you something, how much this book is worth right now. And do not ask me how I got the book. So now when it comes to this book, there are books you see, some of them say 20, some of them say 169. Now what these books are these are like, I don't know, they're like, I ain't gonna say they're scammers, but they're like Asians that put the book together as a PDF and sell it like that. So possibly you can get it like that, you know what I mean? But the original book, because it's not being remade, I want you to look at this. Let's go to Amazon. I don't know if y'all can see this price right here, but it is at $18,500. Lost Tribes and Myths, Suggestions Towards Rewriting Hebrew History. Am I sharing it? Yeah, I'm sharing it. It is at 18 racks, y'all. I think I need to get into trading books or something. I don't know. I need to quit my job, right? That's crazy work. I didn't mean to do that. Let me get it back. Boom. That's what I wanted to do. That's crazy, y'all. $18,000. That's how much this book is right now. Which, like I said, I haven't even looked it up. But when I did the video on it, there's a video I did. It was at 14 at that time. So, and I think this is just due to they're not making a book anymore. It's a very old book. And so an original copy will always go for that amount. But if anybody that ever sees this live that actually wants this book and you're like one of those millionaires or billionaires and you want this book for me, no sweat. Just inbox me. I'll take 15 racks for the book. But now I'm going to go into the book, right? So it has various maps. It has about three or four maps inside of it. One of them in particular, I'm going to go over. Now this map, all I got to do is, and all you would have to do is just go, let me look real quick. I'm going to go online and I'm going to see if I could find a map. I know I can find a map. Just give me a second. So you could do the same thing. So you can see the map for brothers and sisters that want to see the map, because there's various websites that carry the map that's in it. They don't carry the actual book. Y'all give me 1 second. See, told y'all would learn something today, huh? Classes in session. Well, this is just something to show you that, you know, the narrative of that, you know, everybody is, we're all, you know, the same people. Okay. So this book, this map it's a website called Black Culture Press. And I'm going to set it up so that I'm gonna put the website link into the comments. That'll work. Let me put it into the comments. So I just did that. I just put the link into the comments. Okay. And so let me set this up so I can be able to use a cursor, and then I'm gonna move on with what I want to show y'all. Print screen. Oh, it's still here. Okay, no sweat. We're good to go. Okay. So now I'm about to share this screen. There we go. Let me see if y'all can see what I got. Okay. How can I make it bigger? How about I just share my whole screen? I'll just do that. I'll just share the whole screen so y'all can see. Now, this is the Negro Jews map that's in there, right? So, you know, these researchers, there's about 11 of them. They went out there with Alan Gabe of Duke University. This is in the 1920s through 30s. They was out there and they went through all these places and they found so many traces of Jewish kingdoms in all throughout Africa. Okay. All throughout Africa. Let me put so let me just zoom in for y'all. So this is Africa, right? This is Africa. I'm sorry. My bad. So over here in West Africa, you got Senegambia. And let me circle that for you so y'all can see. You got Senegambia right here, right? We just read about that. So right here you have a colony called Lam, a Jewish colony. It was Israelites right there. This is Timbuktu right here. Okay. You got a medieval Jewish kingdom called Kamnuri, which is right here. This is all in West Africa. You got traces of Jews right here. Dahomey Jews right here. You got Levite cities right here. Benai Ephraim right here. Okay. And so let's move over here to the corner. Let's go over here where Egypt is at. This one is very interesting because I've done the research on this. So you have Elephantine Jews. It was a garrison at 600 BC right here. Now this one I can attest that is true because has anyone heard of the Brooklyn Papyrus? The Brooklyn Papyrus. The Brooklyn Papyrus is Egyptian papyrus that proves that this is true where they had a garrison. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. Right here, you had Israelites living at a garrison in Upper Egypt to defend Egypt's border against the Nubians. Over time, what ended up happening is they had a community there. And the Brooklyn Papyrus is records of the Israelite priests writing correspondence to the Israelite priests in Jerusalem. It's called the Brooklyn Papyrus. Go look it up. You understand? So the point is that Israelites were all over Africa. All over Africa, right? And so in West Africa, you had Israelites all over that thing. And these people ended up on cargo slave ships. Now down here, when you get to Gabon or Gabon or Cameroon or the Congo, you had Jews, even this little island right here called San Tome Principal today. This island is where a lot of the Jews that were kicked out of Spain fled to. They were taken to. This island right here, San Tome Principal. And so I just wanted to come with some receipts, y'all. You know what I'm saying? I usually don't even do this. This is usually more geared for what I do Wednesday nights on Hollywood Israelites. So that just shows you that there were Jews, Black Israelites all over West Africa during the time of the slave trade, and that they would not have been the same as the native Africans that ended up warring with them, kidnapping them, and selling them to the Europeans. You know, knowledge is power. Brothers and sisters, that's the thing. That's the key. Like, as you can see, I didn't use the Bible to prove that. I use history. Now, there was a brother that he was talking about this, and he, challenged me on that, and I said, who do you think we are? He said, West Africans. Well, see, West African is not enough. That's not enough. That's not giving me enough. I got a DNA, one of those ancestry DNA tests that I've never used, because I already knew what that's going to say. It's going to give me 3 markers from West Africa. I know that much. I mean, we all should know that much. We all should know, they came from West Africa, but who were they? Why were they sold? Another thing that I didn't bring out is the history of what the Europeans were offering to the Africans. A lot of the things they were offering in trade for slaves were things that Africans already had. These African kings, they already had these things, whether it be spices or materials. It's just that they wanted opulence. They wanted more things. They wanted, I got this kind of salt, but I want to, give me some pink salt. Give me some different kind of salts, different kind of spices. Yeah, I got cinnamon, but I want cinnamon from your country. So in other words, it wasn't, because what they say is that they were put in a bind because they needed these things. Well, it's starting to come out that a lot of things that the Europeans were offering, these African kingdoms already had. But they said, for these niggas, yeah, I'll get me some extravagant spices. I have more than one type of fabric. I have more than one type of, material. So that's some more history that I could go into and show, like, it wasn't that they needed these things in Africa. They already had them. Yeah, so if you learn something, give me a 1. If you learn something right now, give me a 1. I understand a lot of y'all already know, but if you learned something that you didn't know, give me a 1 in the chat, man. Give me a 1 in the chat. If you learned something that you didn't know. If you felt like you were just in class, give me a 1 in the chat. Listen, man, I appreciate y'all, man. I appreciate y'all rocking with me. Y'all always rock with me, man. And I try my hardest to bring something that's worthy to even talk about. Because at the end of the day, it's like this. You could choose to be listening to, you could be listening to something else right now. It's a lot of people live right now. It's a lot of garbage on the internet, a lot of things that people talking about that sound good, that sound sweet, but you chose to rock with the Thawahgabar, Black Authentic Truth. You know what I'm saying? And because of that, you might have learned something. And so I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? It's an equal exchange. You sit here for, a little bit of time, and then I give you something that's worth to take away, and you can go and research it even more. You probably could come with some stuff that I did not know, you know what I'm saying? Which I sure people can. I'm sure there's brothers and sisters that listen to me that got stuff that they can enlighten me on that I do not know. I've never heard of it, but it will be a learning moment. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate y'all, man. I'm about to get up out of here. We've been rocking He said G-Man has better DNA tools. Oh, the worthy Joshua 12. You said G-Match has better DNA tools. Okay. Renee said, no other place I'd rather be than here. Young man Kev said, learned about the 18 band. Right. Look, brother. You know how brothers be flossing chains and stuff. Brothers be flossing chains and shit. Yeah, nigga. I got. What about that book though? Niggas ain't got none of these. 18 racks. 18 racks. I keep it in the shelf. You know what I'm saying? 18 racks. Like, yeah, like for real though. Like, but seriously though. I forgot what I was gonna say, but yeah, that's funny what you said. 18 bands is wild. Like, but you know what I'm going to try to do, y'all. I'm gonna try to. I don't want to try to get the book repaired. I'm gonna just try to just put it together as a PDF so that like anybody could have it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe for a small donation. But we'll see. It's a lot. It's thick. It's like 1,000 pages. You know what I'm saying? So that's work. That's some what you call that? What they call that? That's some meticulous work. You know what I mean? I already work for the truth. I work for the white man. Then I try to put as much work in as I can after all of those to Black Authentic Truth. So that, yeah. But anyway, yo, I appreciate y'all, man. I appreciate y'all rocking with me. I'll be back. I'm probably going to go Wednesday, but I'm going to come with something historical, maybe a story, a Black Authentic Truth story. I want to get into that. I know I said to people that I want to restructure the way I do stuff, the way I'm doing videos. I want to restructure that everything and just do something totally different with Black Authentic Truth. So stay tuned because I am coming up with new ideas all the time. And I want to just find my niche because right now I feel like I'm just, my passion is always there. It's just that I want to do something that is like a well-oiled machine where you could expect the same thing every time you see me. But make sure you like the video. Make sure you share the video. Make sure you do all of those things, man. Thank y'all once again. I'm Thawahgabar. This is Black Authentic Truth. If you want to catch me with some biblical breakdowns, bringing the type of things, some of the stuff that I brought tonight, you could catch me on Hollywood Israelites. That's Hollywood Israelites, Southern California, Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. Pacific time. All right. Other than that, man, let me see what y'all saying. They not like us. 25 people give 20. They not like us. It's 25 people give $20. How about 18,000 people to give $20? Listen, I'll quit my job tomorrow, and guess what? I'll be doing Black Authentic Truth full time. I'm just kidding though. I'm playing. I ain't gonna do my people like that. I ain't gonna do y'all like that. If I'm do it, it's gonna be free. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be that'll be on somebody, that'll be like up to the person if they want to give a donation, but it will be free. You know what I'm saying? Because knowledge should be free at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the problem now. A lot of stuff that I be wanting to read, I be trying to get access to. It's either you got to have a lot of money or you got to have some type of higher education connection to some seminary school or somebody to give you access. And so a lot of the records that we as Black folks can benefit from, that is about us, we can't get to the records. We can't open the books. We can't get access. And so I think that stuff is worth more than anything. It's worth more than any, being around a celebrity or, like people, we put a lot of value on a lot of things, but to me, that's real value. Real value is just being able to go into a place and get the information that you need. And people have tried to keep the information from us and lock us out. We able to read now. We're not on the plantation anymore. But even with that, it's still doors that are closed to us to get information. You know what I'm saying? Doors are still closed to us. You know, so that's why that's why I put the link in there. This ain't just for me. This book, the fact that it's $18,000, that you know that they don't want stuff like this to even get out. You know, they don't want people to be knowing all of this stuff. They want people to be locked into the same old thing and the cycle and the lies. And so I put it in the chat where I got it from, the website, so that if you can get it, then get it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a hacker or nothing, but if I could, I would hack all everybody's should I say that? I would hack all your accounts and then put $1 million in it if I could, because I love my people that much. I'm just joking though. Not really. You know, because you know, next thing you know, the FBI be coming for me. They be coming for me. And I'll be about to have a stroke. I'm just playing. Nah, I'm gonna stop playing like that. That's not nice. That's not cool. I'm gonna stop. But anyway, man, thank y'all for rocking with me. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like this live if you haven't already. I appreciate y'all. I see y'all possibly Wednesday, and if not, maybe sometime in between next Sunday. Y'all keep it black and authentic. This is Thawahgabar. Thank y'all for rocking with me. See y'all later. All right, I'm up out of here. Mm-mm.